Hi, boys and girls. Nana Sharon here with Bella and Posey, and Papa is behind the camera. Today I want to read you a story, so let's sit down, fold our hands, and get ready to listen. Today's book is Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood, as told by Mabel Watts, illustrated by Les Gray. Many long summers ago, there was a little girl whose mother made her a red cape with a hood for her birthday. Because it was so pretty, she wore it here, there, and everywhere, and that's why everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, Mr. Whittle, the woodcutter, called at Little Red Riding Hood's cottage in the woods. "Your grandmother is sick," he said, "and lonesome. May I take a basket of goodies to her?" Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother. "That would cheer her," agreed Mother. "It would make her feel better." Mother put some cookies and some butter rolls and some fresh elderberry jam into a basket. Little Red Riding Hood added a bag of colored jelly beans. Then she put on her red cape and kissed her mother goodbye. "Keep to the path, child," said Mother. "Don't loiter along the way and don't talk to strangers." "I'll do just as you say, Mother," promised Little Red Riding Hood. Then off she skipped, with a basket over her arm and her red cape flying in the breeze. The birds sang merrily as Little Red Riding Hood walked through the shadowy woods. Bunnies hopped over here, squirrels scampered, and fawns peeped shyly from among the trees. "Good morning, friends," said Little Red Riding Hood. "I'm sorry I can't stop to play with you today." She pulled her hood onto her head and sang, "Here I go to Grandma's house I go." "Ho, ho," said the gruff, growly voice. "So that's where you're going." And a great gray wolf pounced out from behind the blackberry bush. "Please let me pass," said Little Red Riding Hood. "I must hurry." The wolf peeped into the basket. He said, "all my favorites." "All Grandma's favorites," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Oh, please move aside." "Wait a minute," said the wolf, becoming friendly. "Why not pick some flowers for your grandmother?" "Well," said Little Red Riding Hood, "I really shouldn't stop." "A few minutes surely won't make a difference," said the wolf. So Little Red Riding Hood stopped to pick some bluebells and buttercups. By the time she had gathered a pretty bouquet, the wolf was gone. He was bounding along to Grandmother's house. "Here's the place," he said, and he knocked on the door. "Who's there?" asked Grandmother. "It's Little Red Riding Hood," called the wolf in a little girl voice. "I brought you a basket of goodies." "Bless your heart," said Grandmother. "Come in, dear." The wolf lifted the latch and laughed. "Boo!" he said. Grandmother hopped out of bed and slipped through the open door. Zip! She went through the cabbage patch. Zip! Through the woods. After she had gone, the wicked wolf popped into a nightgown and a nightcap. He put on Grandma's spectacles and climbed into her bed. "Now I look a little less like a wolf," he said, "and just a little more like Grandmother." Soon there was a knock at the door. "Lift the latch, dear, and come in," called the wolf in Grandmother's voice. Little Red Riding Hood hurried inside. "Why, Grandma," she said, coming closer, "what long furry ears you have!" "All the better to hear you, my dear," said the wolf in a cheerful voice. "And your eyes," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Oh, my, they look like big green marbles." "All the better to see you, my dear," said the wolf. Oh, my, Grandma, said Little Red Riding Hood. "What big white teeth you have!" The wily, wicked wolf licked his chops. "All the better to eat you!" he snapped and jumped out of bed. But Little Red Riding Hood was quick. She skipped and hopped and circled around the room until the wolf was dizzy. Then she ran through the door straight into the arms of Mr. Whittle the woodcutter. "The wolf is after me!" cried Little Red Riding Hood. "And we are after him." Whoops, sorry. "And we are after him," added Grandmother, for she was there too. "You'll be sorry," Mr. Whittle told the wolf. "Now it's your turn to be afraid." The wolf ran and yelped and ran with the woodcutter right after him, swinging his axe. "Everything's going to be all right now," Grandmother told Little Red Riding Hood, and that's exactly how things turned out. The woodcutter was soon back, all alone. "No more trouble," he said. "No more wolf. I don't think he'll ever stop running." "Hooray!" cried Little Red Riding Hood. "Thank goodness," said Grandmother. "Now we can live in peace and quiet." Then all three sat down to enjoy the goodies in the Red Riding Hood basket, the cookies, the butter rolls, the elderberry jam, and the jelly beans. It was like a party.